Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mordheim Madness Season 2. We're here for the Winners Bracket Playoffs and we're gonna watch the very first game casted here, Slaviour against Aenur. And we have rivals in the ruins for these two players. It's exactly what Slaviour would have wanted to have, facing off the super high initiative warband of Aenur the Skaven. Slaviour playing as the mercenaries, and we're gonna follow from his perspective today. They're gonna deploy here, and while they're deploying, let's take a look at the playoff table. So you can see quite a few games has already been played. The lower bracket, the losers bracket is already set. True Griffin against Poker, and whoever loses here today is gonna face the winner between Crowley and Greybush. Remember that this is double elimination, so you can afford to lose once in the playoffs, but if you've lost twice, you are out when you come from the winner's bracket at the very least. Gonna jump ahead of the deployment here and come back as soon as you start. Right. And here we are, starting off the very first turn, and this is gonna be a very special game, not only because it's the first game we've cast in the playoffs, but because we have a co-caster with us here today for the very first time. Say hello to Kiranpaw.
Looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be very balanced deployment, two very good players. So.
I hope so too, It's typically going to be fought here around where the cursor is, usually that's where the warbands meet up. What do you think about Slaviour's move here? He has played with the Warlock every single game, but he has skipped the Warlock for this game. What do you think about that?
Okay, so I have flashbacks of my utter destruction from Shellproof. I've noticed most of the Skaven just don't have really good magic resist. They don't have a good passive for it, and most of them don't really focus it anyway. So I thought the Warlock, especially with Fireball and Lightning, could do some good work. So yeah, I'm not sure what he's thinking. I know he has a new champion that he maybe wants to use in this situation. So
I was thinking the same when you see the 81s and 79 here, the captain and the youngblood. You would want to boost those with stimulus that he only has from the Warlock.
To his fate as the slow guy. I think his new guy has mastery staggering blow. So it's one of the way the low initiatives can try to counter this fast initiative team.
Yeah, we're gonna see that. I don't really remember. We can see the morale in the top left corner, 218 to 247. It's gonna be a slugfest.
They're deploying. We were chatting just a bit about this map, how it seems to every time be a battle in the northeast corner. And there's this whole section of map that's never used down on the west side and southwest. So see if Aenur tries to utilize it, but probably not. I believe this is the map they played in the groups as well. Deployment, I think it was this map though.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't think I saw that game. I'm not sure at this point. But yes, indeed, I think that a lot of people, they try to avoid going down to low ground here because you're going to be a sitting duck and it's not that easy to get back up. You have to go through the buildings. So many people do indeed meet up in the northeast corner.
So it makes it easy as an opponent to know, like, you know, a lot of matches, it's like, where are they going? Where are they at? You're doing this hunting thing that Slaviour's doing. But on this particular deployment in this map, I think most of the veterans know it's just going to be in the northeast corner here. So.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to see which way he's going to go. He could take up a little bit more to the right here and take the corridor that's protected by the buildings. It's also very popular because if you move down the center here, straight up from the wagon, you're going to be susceptible to being shot at as you approach.
Surprised Slaviour's not looking, when I play, I don't know if people watch, I look a lot at the building structures to see, okay, where's a good, he's looking a little bit now, like where can I have overwatches or where can I tuck in units, you know, it's important to see what kind of building you've got in front of you as well.
Indeed. And you don't have to worry about magic casters really when facing Skaven, and not really here either because they have virtually no offensive magic to speak of.
Mercenaries,
at least any damaging, the Skaven one.
They're known as like slug it out kind of warbands, right? Heavy armor, slow. That's kind of what Slaviour is. So, but they're also, I think, kind of known for their high morale. What do you think about this like 30 morale swing towards the Skaven here? It's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, it is quite surprising. I think this might be due to Yeah, actually, I don't really know. I mean, the warriors are there. He has elected not to take a single marksman, were generally thought to be one of the best henchmen in the game, and it's just using these heavy armored warriors as roadblocks, and they probably have pretty good leadership. It must be the captain and the youngblood who has been neglecting the leadership since this is more of a hybrid, and the youngblood is not able to get too much in the way of leadership either.
So I think, well, I know the captain. I think the young blood can as well, and maybe a champion. I think they can all get mastery knowledge of Mordheim. Perhaps he went into the intelligence more.
Yeah, he might have done that. I don't really remember his setup. I think it's just cool that we do see a young blood in the tournament and played by such an intelligent
Yeah.
player as Slaviour is. He's always, I think he's the one of the probably the most inventive player that we have had in Mordheim history. He changes the meta more than any other player, and it's interesting to see him play. And if he's bringing out a young blood and showing everyone, hey, this is what you do with them, a hero choice that's pretty much selected as one of the worst heroes ever, and he can use them to good effect. I think it will open a lot of people's eyes.
I think they have the better core skills than a marksman. They can get the 12 toughness and 15 intelligence that a marksman can't get. So you can get that crucial mastery or mastery exhaustion with knowledge of Mordheim.
Yeah, and the five open passive slots, as
Well,
well as of course what Slaviour has been saying is that you have a heavy armored archer that has some value in itself.
just talked about the right corridor, and they're already moving off to the west, which you don't see as often. Maybe there'll be a battle between these two large structures. There's two bridge structures, climb ups and stuff, but you can also get screwed over thinking there'll be steps up to your opponent, and it ends up being just a dead end.
In some ways, I can see Slaviour doing this because he has a lot of melee, but he has the only shooting available really here as well. At least the long range shooting, so he probably wants to keep up that advantage. Of course, Aenur does have the order, and he could burst through some of these guys.
55% armor.
55%, yeah, that's very nice. Very nice indeed. Let's see if there's gonna be a wall runner. Let's see if it's gonna be a window here. Yeah, yeah, he's already checked that out, of course. Very good spot to be in.
Do you think I don't think he's getting spotted anymore by the Eshin sorcerer, right? So he won't know he's up here, I don't think.
No, he won't. Could be a nice little setup ambush here, but we'll see how brazen Aenur is in his attack. I think he's gonna approach carefully here as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Slaviour, like, it's just a bunch of beef. I mean, that's what, again, mercs are known for. Like you said, he's got 5 warriors, he's got 2 champions, he's got this hybrid captain, he's just got and even the everybody heavy armor, and the wolf priest. I think everybody is literally in heavy armor for his team. Yeah, lose honorably.
Here we go. Marondis Reinhold moving up, and it's most of Slaviour's turn coming in. See which kind of building he goes to. You can see that this is one of the new guys here, the Mastered Staggering Blow. That's one way of...
Only 4 intelligence on this guy. We were just talking about. He doesn't even have basic knowledge of Mordheim, so very slow warband.
Very heavily armored warband too. Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, during the break, I was mentioning how his entire warband for this battle is heavy armor. Everybody. To see a lot of sorcerer's curses coming through for Aenur.
I don't think he needs to do an ambush there. I mean, if he just puts himself at the corner, he's gonna be blocking the path towards him and still have all of the red pills.
That brave either, but you never know. You never know.
A winter chill.
Does that imply he has a melee resist build there?
Yeah, with the champion, you can never take that away. I think a lot of the warriors here, they are not just there with heavy armor. They are also a little bit difficult to hit. They have They have a good melee resistance stats. Might be the same here with the champions. They're pretty decent.
They're newer to the game. They have that passive, I believe it's adaptable defense. Every time you land an attack, you get increased melee resist.
Plus 3%.
Interesting to see if he has mastered Adrenaline Rush in order to get 6 attacks off.
It was a little bit disappointing. Do you remember we actually tested this out? We had differing opinions among ourselves and about Winter's Chill and how it actually worked, because it does remove minus 20% hit chance, but also minus 20% damage. But the way the game calculates it, what kind of damage is it taking away? Is it taking away final damage, like you do with dual wielding or two-handed? Or are you taking off the base damage? And it turns out you're actually taking off the base damage. So 20% less damage from the base. It's not as much as we thought it would be.
So, for example, I believe it's Black Hunger, which you'll probably see plenty of. It'll take away 20% of that buff from Black Hunger.
Yeah, that's more or less what it does.
Surprising to see him lead with his henchmen. They're here to die and lead the charge, so I think you'll see them.
Tanky. Look at him, like 390 wounds, 50% armor, 11 leadership, so you know he's gonna be decent at that. These are guys that are not that easy to budge. I mean, you're gonna have to take a lot of effort to push through them.
Yeah, at the same time, you know, the Skaven players have kind of handicapped themselves. A lot of them taking that warp guard, so they're forced into a verminkin. I believe for an extra unit, in fact, Aenur took a henchman, a verminkin henchman. But yeah, my point I'm getting at is warp guards can definitely be very comparable to warriors to a lot of people in their ability to get a lot of heavy armor, just hold the line. But I believe Aenur might even only have 3. I don't know if I know he has a ranged one. And I believe he built a new melee resist verminkin.
He's always had. Doesn't he always have a dodging verminkin that's only there to catch targets? Very high melee resistance, sidestep, and extremely high initiative. But
so I think he has no damage. I think he has 3 verminkin. I think he made another one to counter all these daredevils. Can't remember though. Searing Missile, which is a ranged one, so.
Yeah, I don't really remember what this new unit was. I remember he switched out one of his warp guards. That's all I remember. Might have been another vermin.
I think if you had to look at it, I think Slaviour's got the advantage with henchmen. He's definitely got, like you said, some beefy henchmen. So. People kind of neglect henchmen or don't think about them, that they can play a role for sure.
Oh yeah, they definitely can. And these henchmen of his, look at the strength here, 17 strength on this warrior. You know, they're not just there to tank damage, they can dish it out if they want to. And one of the favorite tactics of Slaviour is that he likes to switch his weapons, pull out a two-handed like a great axe, and then use Adrenaline Rush to get 2 attacks off, and even stay like that, producing a strong blow and another attack on the following turn. So they can do the damage. They can do a lot of damage if push comes to shove.
Interesting to see, these warriors have 50% armor. I haven't been looking at all of them. That implies it's not a shield of iron. Do you think he's taking a melee resist shield or a spell break shield?
He has a melee resistance shield. I think that goes hand in hand with him having the units be very, very tanky. Not
from
in the way of armor.
We're going to have to judge how well he uses his Sorcerer's Curse and the Warp Mist. Those are going to be the 2 ways he's going to counter the heavy armor and then the melee resist.
A new round has started.
I don't think I like Conrad's position here. What do you think?
Yeah, that's that movement. But then he just said it. Yeah, he's got.
But why did he need to move forward that much if he was gonna leave himself exposed?
such shitty movement. He really does.
This is gonna be, yeah, he's going to be shot at. Of course, he's going to be shot at.
Some hit and run. I don't see any reason for Aenur to commit forward.
No, he's just gonna do a little bit of shooting and then move back.
Left with Skaven, and we've lost our only sisters warband, which leaves us with just witch hunters. So only warbands that can heal. That's one of the very annoying things about. They're definitely built to hit, retreat, and then they can heal, unlike many of the warbands remaining.
Yeah, provokes more of a. Wow, actually, that is surprising.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's gonna. Why does he shoot after casting the Enshrouding Mist?
Yeah.
That was a big mistake, and Aenur is realizing it now. Why was he casting that? He manages to hit one guy who's slightly outside of the mist, but yeah.
What was he planning on engaging him with melee that far? That doesn't.
I think he might be. I think we might see a charge coming in. Why else would he throw down the Enshrouding Mist?
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We'll see. That's a big mistake right off the bat. Seen this a lot. You mentioned before in videos about how poison wind globadiers throw down poison and it ends up kind of just hurting them as they have to run through their own poison. This is the same thing. I've seen a lot of mist use in some of the videos where it comes back to haunt the players.
Yeah, a lot of players do. I think a lot of players do play like this. Even among the veterans, they don't think ahead too much. They tend to just take the units and see what they can do. What's the best course of action for this unit at this point in time, rather than thinking on a more long-term approach. Then you figure out, you put down a poison cloud. Where this is going to be great. It's going to be blocking off this path. Excellent. And then you figure out, oh damn, I need to go through here myself.
Yeah, I mean, putting down the mist says I'm going to engage that target, which I don't know. That's a long walk. You're walking towards. That's what Slaviour wants you to do because he's so slow.
Radolf is not having a fun time.
I mean, I assume these are shurikens of perforation. You can just see all that meat.
Yeah, it's still a far cry from doing the 50 damage that they do originally against Cloth.
Having this little discussion, Clyde seems to be a huge fan of the pistols with his units. Everyone else is using shurikens. What do you feel about that?
I think it's I don't think it's honest. I think Clyde is playing with the pistols for now, and I think that when you start seeing him in the playoff games, he's gonna suddenly switch to shurikens to be 110, 115 initiative on every single unit. So I think it's a smoke screen for the coming playoffs. He's done this before, and it was a favorite tactic of Talon as well, playing with as low initiative as he can, and then they slap on all of the initiative boosters that he can come the playoffs.
Steering missile, I believe, is ranged. Interesting. Germankin delayed. Maybe he's trying to make it use more blue pills.
No, he's still, yeah. Yeah, everyone gets to shoot. Everyone gets to shoot. It was surprising of Slaviour to go up this. Like, we talked a little bit about this, going down this particular path. This is what usually happens. This is why people go on the other path, on the other side of this house.
Show though, like his henchmen are really slow. If he doesn't have exhaustion, he's only got 30 meters movement with them. I didn't see if they had exhaustion or not. That's some of my units have 90 and stuff, so.
Lots of shooting and just cycling in unit after unit.
So this is not surprising. We expected to see some of this hit and run. What does Slaviour have to do? This is what happened to me against Skaven. towards his death. Look how far the Puppet Master got.
Yeah, they got
he has
all,
no
the,
one
way
that can reach
all
that.
the way behind the building here. I wonder if you might not actually sense a unit or two down here on the low ground trying to catch them off guard.
Exactly, but it's a risk. You don't know if there's steps up. Sometimes, depending on the building structure, there's steps up.
What do you think of this? We might see a Verminkin approaching the... No, yeah, he's not gonna do this.
Yeah, that's why I never got the Warp Mist in the first place. Why would you put one unit around 10 enemy units? You know, it just didn't make sense with the Warp Mist in any way.
No.
Like the poison, though. He got him with the
in some way, you can see that the guy he was throwing the Warp Mists on, the Shrouding Mist, you could potentially lock him down, and if you attack him in the right way, you could lock the units from coming out from the house as well. So all of them in there, they cannot come up there.
Holding back 4 units. Expected more, yeah. This is I literally just played Hole Poker here in BBL3, and this is where I set up. It's pretty typical. You get some good flanks.
I think that maybe the champion here could possibly reach the sorcerer leader.
So he has.
I remember that he has
2 randomly fast units, but he keeps delaying. Like, what is the strategy here? I don't understand.
Is he hoping to get some target that's going to move forward here? Because I don't think Aenur is going to do that. He might be reading too much into the Enshrouding Mist. Should probably have been a Warp Mists if he had that available.
Maybe what he thought he had selected? I don't know. Poison damage, right?
Yeah. And reduces poison resist too. I don't know if he has that.
It's just it. Against all these Skaven warbands, you have to push the issue. And like I just talked about, they can heal with Poison Wind Globadiers and pull back. Like Slaviour can't, you know?
So they are hoping to... They want to have this kind of fight, and it's easy to play as them. That's why we talked about Skaven players being so favored there. It's really an uphill battle to face the Skaven players in this particular setting as we have. That's why we see so many of them.
Yeah, it's because the Poison Wind Globadier really shines without consumables.
Yeah,
and without healers for other warbands, like the Warrior Priest healing for other warbands, but they just don't have it now.
Yeah, it's not just Strangling Globe, it's like, what can you do in this situation? I mean, if you have it this, Skaven has a much greater movement than you, so they can go in, try and find some kind of angle to shoot, or even go in, attack, use order to kill off something, and then move back all the way back, as far away as possible, that where you can't catch them, and then they can just rinse and repeat.
If I'm Aenur right now, I'm very happy with this second turn, you know? This is just what he wanted.
Yeah, just give me a target. They're all using delay, which means that none of them are actually going forward here, because they're just depleting each other's blue pills. That's what's happening here.
So this is telling me that the 270 ones, those are probably his Daredevil units. So he's trying to hope Slaviour would pull forward, but you may as well just end their turn at this point.
Yeah, it's probably the case. You can see that one of the warp cards is 61. We have 2 other 61s that are probably also warp cards built the same way.
Does the same thing to me all the time. He delays with his Daredevil guys, because that's just it. They apply the pressure, and they're like, all right, come at me, and then they start delaying with their actual damage dealers, knowing you'll have to move forward. And the idea is they'll get them onto you as you move forward, so they don't waste their turn. Thing with his, so it's interesting to see other Skaven players using it. It can do, you know. As a Chaos player, I'd love for people to come towards me. I would love it if I could force the issue and have people march towards me. But you know, Skaven are doing it best during this tournament.
I think magic is gonna be a new thing in the meta, as we see here. This is a sort of daredevil new try here to beat armor and whatever else we've seen in zombies. I think magic is gonna be a new big thing to defeat this. You have 40 range, you just need to see a little piece of their claw to start attacking them.
I agree too. I think you've seen a lot of people take anti-range builds even with like these warp mists, and I never saw careful approach, and now I see a lot of I believe even your vampire has it. You're starting to see a lot of people counter ranged, and then the only thing left then is magic. Not a lot of people take, and not a lot of warbands have good inherent skills to counter magic, and without consumables like talisman. Yeah, I think you do have a point.
Yeah, and it's also because of the pure range here. I mean, you could get 46 range with magic.
Yeah.
As nothing else can beat that ranged wise, and so you can definitely force the issue of getting them to come to you.
For sure. How does Slaviour do this? I mean, I think he will have to go downstairs there, where he's got his champion, and maybe he'll do a left-right flank at this point, or he can't walk down the middle at this point.
It's going to be dangerous to go in there as well, because he could face a Black Skaven that's going to do some ordering from the sorcerer as well to completely bring him down afterwards.
Was going to be the battle. How much damage can Aenur do before the engagement? Because once it starts, if you see this Misty Strider, unlike I would say Slaviour invented the henchman that does a lot of damage kind of build, especially with his zombies last tournament. But you still see some units like I believe Aenur's Verminkin. They're just meant to tank. They're not necessarily damage dealers. So seeing if he's able to close the gap, he'll start to have the advantage swing back, I believe.
Interesting enough, this Fog Spirit is just a super defensive character, and we do know that Clyde is copying that. That's his new unit coming up as well. And
so you saw his damage. It was 2737. Like,
yeah,
that's
it's just a basic spear with 2 strength.
So that's gonna play a role if he can close the gap.
Yeah, and whoever wins this fight here is gonna face Clyde, so they're gonna see that in action.
While we're talking about it, I mean, I'm already in the losers bracket. This has been a great tournament. I've never seen such high quality, and I don't know if part of it's the league. I think people in the old structure, you'd get like a couple matches, and if you lost, you're out of it. Where players with these setup, I think they're getting a lot more used to their warband and what it can do, and very efficiently given the number of matches in this tournament.
And they're learning from their opponents as well, I think, since they get to face, sometimes you face an opponent more than once. Some players have faced each other more than once already.
Found a target.
It's not... let's find a way to get through here. It could actually reach some guys.
Ooh, juicy. Lone wolf.
Doesn't really want to gamble on that.
Yeah, interesting. You know, I feel like it is going to be a tense match. I feel like Aenur, who's new to level 10 tournaments, is out to prove himself. I think a lot of these newer guys, you know, taking on the big dog Slaviour are going to be cautious, and they belong. Even though I think we all agree they belong. It's definitely been a very, very competitive tournament, and there's no shame in going to the losers bracket for.
I think, of course, we would. I mean, some of these players, they are taking it a little bit more in stride, like Slaviour himself. He would play something different if it was more of a competitive tournament. Yeah, he could actually do some damage here with Frostbite.
You think he took it for the movement reduction?
I think that's part of it, indeed. I mean, it couples well with his Warlock. reduce movement and reducing the red blue pills here as well.
Warlock have
I think he wants to use
lead. He
exhaustion
didn't
here.
bring
Though.
Does his warlock? He didn't bring, but does his warlock have the armor of lead?
I believe he does. Yeah.
Be interesting to see where he puts his warriors. Again, they just have such poor movement.
And even then, they are at 6 movement, I believe, using knowledge, Mordheim, and armor proficient.
Yeah, I don't see exhaustion or meditation. I think he literally is capped at 30 movement. It's gonna be rough later. But Slaviour only lost 1 battle, or was he undefeated in the group stage?
He was undefeated. Yeah, he was undefeated. I believe he was
So
in the group stage, and then he's only lost 2 games so far, and both of them are against Clyde.
you know, Clyde loves every minute of that. So Clyde's got a very formidable warband. I think we all discussed before this started that Skaven were going to be the toughest to face, and he's showing it.
Yeah, it's a bit too difficult to face game, and it's too easy to play with the current settings, I think, compared to all the other ones. And Strangling Globus just can completely shut down opponents' characters without you having any way of getting back at it.
It's really not. It's just the Poison Wind Globadier in general is just so powerful. I think he was pretty much a staple of other tournaments as well for a lot of the warbands because he's just so strong.
Yeah, he's always been a staple.
I can't complain much because I believe if Skaven win this will be their first victory in a tournament. So, you know, it's good to see them get their day in the light.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever even reached the final, and more than likely to do that. We already have, in the winners bracket, for instance, we have 3 players through already, and 2 of them are Skaven.
He's not really moving forward.
Yeah, he's hoping to get Aenur to commit here, but Aenur probably won't. He would like to sit back here and play a 3-hour game and doing a tiny little bit of damage while he can heal up the damage that he takes, just as you said.
It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Because you know that they're going to use that exhaustion and you're like, all right, at least they're losing HP, but it's like, no. The Poison Wind Globadier is going to heal all that right back.
Yeah, that's probably why he didn't use exhaustion on the Wolf Priest there to put him in a safer spot, because he cannot heal that damage, and every little bit helps.
Oh, as he's looking, there's no steps in that building, right? So this is what I was talking about. That has no door, and the other one has no door, so unlucky with the ability to go up.
What about the stair? No, the stairs look broken as well. Yeah.
I couldn't tell, were they?
Yeah, I think they were broken. It looked like it.
Talked about, that's why this, I don't know, I'll call it the pit over here. A lot of people don't use it because the climb up points are very limited. Slaviour's kind of forced himself into it by moving right or left or whatever you want to say, west. So
he is spotted by the Last Got Talent Warp Guard here all the time, right? I think he is.
Right behind a ledge.
This could be awkward for Slaviour if Aenur goes down here with a single Warp Guard. If he knows this, if he's seen this, he could lock in 2 warriors here for the price of 1 Warp Guard. Just by blocking the doorway.
Yeah, the tanky one, the tanky Verminkin even.
Yeah. Maybe Slaviour is tempting him to do that, because if he goes down there with someone, then you have the Youngblood and the Captain going to be well positioned to come down and fire into him.
So, alright, so this is Slaviour. He's not able to do much but 2 casts. What does Aenur want to do? Does he want to try to find this warrior priest left out and hit and run, or do you think he'll commit? I think, yeah, you're right. Slaviour, being a veteran, wants to like kind of tease him and be like, come on. He wants Aenur to come and commit.
Yeah,
If
and the
Aenur,
Aenur wants the same for Slaviour. He wants Slaviour to commit here and just rush blindly in without any stance or anything, and then be counterattacked and killed with Daredevil and Order.
extremely impatient. We'll see if Aenur's able to remain patient though and not take the bait. Is what Aenur wants. He wants to just chip away. He's got the infused globes. He can just chip away.
It's the same with all of the Skaven players, with the exception of True Griffin. It's the only one that's really aggressive. All of the other 3 players, they are playing exactly the same, like this. Covering up, healing up themselves, doing a little bit of slow damage to their opponents until they commit, and then they are facing all of the burst damage, and then they have lost the game.
So he's got a warrior he can get covering the. I figured he'd have some shots into this building too. This is gonna hurt. I get this guy too, or the.
Imagine if he was in ambush right now.
Is he gonna go?
Might it trigger the Overwatch from the Youngblood here eventually if he goes a little bit more forward?
This is what I would do. I would just chip away. I mean, there's no reason to commit. Just chip away and pull back.
Yep.
So frustrating to play. I lost my mind against Shellproof doing this, so you may as well. Slaviour wanting the mist back. So it's interesting he hasn't used a Sorcerer's Curse.
And he gets the mist back.
What's he doing?
He gets the mist back.
Expected a Sorcerer's Curse to strip the armor and then throw a bunch of shurikens, and then you're up basically already 2 henchmen.
He's gonna try and focus this down. He might be committing here. Horrendous pain, that's open wounds. So minus 10% chance of hitting with his range attacks. Actually, he could be caught. I think he can be caught.
I don't think so. I don't know. He is so slow. Maybe with the champion, of course.
Yeah, and even the Wolf Priest. He went just north into that building, no?
He ran across at the end there.
Yeah, he's not getting that far. I mean, he only had 3 blue pills.
I think he's over by the warp guard there, yeah, where he just looked. North more. He knows those warriors are there. Or warp guard in that damage structure. Again, why did you miss? I just don't get it.
I have no idea either.
Dean, very well played.
Strangling Globe gonna cut down the spellcasting of the Wolf Priest for 2 turns. As well as any leadership skills for these 2 characters. Manages both of the poison resistance checks and another shot.
I figured they would. He has such high toughness that he's going to have good innate poison resist.
Still gonna be taking damage here in the coming turns, even if you do leave the cloud. You take slightly less, but you still take damage for 2 turns.
He is pretty close. He's out in the open-ish, it looks.
Yeah.
He punished that with a ranged with his Youngblood or Captain.
Possible, but if he goes forward like that, he's gonna be very close to the fight and being within reach of the Daredevil chargers. Oh yeah, he can actually shoot at him from here. That's gonna be great for Slaviour.
Yeah.
This is the comeback he needed. This is the comeback he needed.
What was he thinking leaving them outside the building? He didn't. Time, I don't understand that.
Let's hope he just doesn't jump down here and does a mistake, but this is Slaviour. Hopefully he's not gonna do that. Yeah, I think that's kind of funny. Slaviour, I think that's funny, a funny comment. You've watched a few of the games as well, right? And Slaviour's Warlock is without a doubt the most unluckiest Warlock I've ever seen. Like, he constantly fails casting. The opponent has 3%, 9% magic resistance. They constantly make it. It's been unbelievable. And when
Reminds me of my Doom Weaver.
yeah, when they faced each other, Aenur and Slaviour, yeah, now I remember this game. Aenur was incredibly lucky because the Warlock kept failing. So we're gonna see no Globodere coming in before the Youngblood can finish off.
Big mistake. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, that was the comeback that Slaviour needed. I mean, he's taking a lot of damage on two of his henchmen, but killing a hero like this, that's kind of the thing he needs.
So what we mentioned, or at least I mentioned at the beginning, it's going to be how well does he use the Mists and Sorcerer's Curse, and if he's already losing one of the units that does that, it's going to be a really tough fight.
Wow,
for
he's
Aenur.
trying to go. You see, Misty Strider, so he was on the back corridor there.
He's going to climb up.
The only thing I think Aenur needs to commit with his two Verminkin now, because if he can put Fog Spirit, for instance, in a way that's ambushing outside of the Wolf Priest, then the Youngblood might not be able to get forward to get into a shooting position without triggering an ambush. Goes into the Poison Globe.
Yeah,
so he's gonna...
Can he get up there and just lock him down even here? This would be huge. Enough for a climb. And will he pass the climb? This Youngblood, yeah, this would be huge for him.
No, he can't get up there. He's gonna walk into the Poison Cloud once more, so he's walked into it twice now.
So he withered this unit and then just brought his weakest Verminkin against him as well. Is that who you want against him, you know?
These are two, so they're not really there for shooting, they're there for... I don't know, he doesn't have a stance anymore, he's going to be focused down.
You're locking down a henchman. You built that unit to lock down dangerous champions.
Yeah, but he's locking down, he thinks he's locking down the Wolf Priest, but he might be able to get out of there. But I think if he jumps down, I think he might meet... No, that is the Mr. Strider. He was the one that was on the back side, on the right corridor here. That was the character. We're gonna see Fog Spirit coming up. See if he can do some kind of ambush here, otherwise we're gonna see a dead... a very dead sorcerer.
Aenur said he couldn't climb up. Is he talking about the ramp over there or where the Youngblood was?
Probably where the Youngblood was. Yeah, it could be in position in such a way. Sometimes you cannot climb up, sometimes the point is obstructed, but that only happens when you're being clipped by terrain, so you do not get... He's gonna jump down, no?
Think so.
Swift jump too. Why wouldn't he? And then go back into a protected position, getting the first hero here.
Yeah, it should be one shot, one kill.
I would have moved back a little bit more. I mean, he had a good shooting opportunity further back, and he's gonna need the head start on the movement here.
But I don't know, the range might not be enough for the bowmen, would they be? Are they both 30?
What, the bows? Bows are 30, yeah?
30. Okay, so you'd been able to shoot where the captain was?
And the shurikens and the warplock pistols, they both have 25 range. I don't know if the captain actually has a normal bow. We're gonna see that when he starts shooting. He might have a longbow. That's 35 range. So
Go, and first kill goes to Slaviour, your
Indeed.
trademark. I'm sorry.
Indeed, it's 1-0 Slaviour. You can see that on the scoreboard here.
It was a big one. It was a hero. It's an important hero as well.
Very important hero. Well, if he cannot climb up here, it's better just staying put where he... it's a bit unlucky here. Taking damage all the time. Oh my god, look at this! Look at this!
So, I didn't realize you could use this skill over and over. That makes it pretty nice.
Yeah. It's a very useful skill. I mean, it's more useful than Swift Jump, but he has Swift Jump too. There's another skill for leaping that's way less useful.
Hey, you know what? If you're gonna take the rolls now, take it on a 10 HP damage jump, you know?
Yeah. That was interesting. Okay, so he's gonna move up with the last good talent here. And Puppet Master, use the delay. I'm gonna come up too. I think it's nice with the flank here, but yeah, you can see. Look at the stairs there. They look pretty broken, no?
There's only one climb point then.
Yeah, there's one climb point.
And that's around the other building, so it's still pretty far away.
And we saw with the champion moving forward in the previous turn using perception that none of the warp guards were around that area to block this passage off. It's essentially a backdoor where Slaviour could catch some of Aenur's units off guard. Particularly the ones he wants to retreat with, you know, the Sorcerer, the Globadiers.
Things to learn with this campy turtle Skaven build is how far to retreat. I think units sometimes over retreat. Kind of what got his sorcerer killed. I think Aenur over retreated, so he had to use so many blue pills just to get back into firing range, and that left him exposed. So you almost don't want to over retreat. You just want to make sure you're in the right building to protect doorways. I think that's a bit more useful.
Or he could also just make a better choice here. I mean, did he really need to go forward and doing Wither and Enshrouding Mist? Did he really need to do that? Yeah, he's moved up Fog Spirit here, so he's blocking up one path. You can see even the little red circle on Area Bug.
Probably the steps down. It's funny, all three buildings are the same, it looks like.
Yeah.
They all have that little staircase. 3 staircases, it looks like. See him. Aenur gets what he wants. He gets the skirmish phase and ends up down a hero.
Why does he hate this map? This is the exact same map they faced each other on earlier.
Why?
Yeah, both the nobles and the merchants quarter 2 are pretty obnoxious with the low and high ground. Remember, Fog Spirit has only had 2 blue pills on him to move. Still got quite a bit of distance with just 2 blue pills. Might have used exhaustion.
I think when Aenur looks back on this, he will be disappointed that. I don't know. Like Poison Wind, Globadier, and Sorcerer, you just take your shuriken throws at that henchman and then just pull back. You know, really force Slaviour to engage you. I don't think there's any point engagement with Slaviour like he did with his Verminkin and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. I mean, it's just 1 hero and he's done respectable damage on some unit choices here, and in the end, if you can get some more kills done, it's all about limiting the amount of options that your opponent has, even if it is a henchman. Oh yeah, he's really being... Wow, he's being so courageous now. You can see the Iron Guard here on the backside.
Is he going for the Youngblood?
He's trying to hide the units here to be closer to the fight.
Ended the turn with him.
It's a sneaky move by Aenur, but Slaviour does catch it. Not all players would catch this.
Someone's spotting him. I'm not sure who's spotting him. It's really weird.
No, it spots him on the minimap because he's seen him once before.
But you could see him for a second on the overhead view. His tanky melee resist henchman on this unit. Oh, this is just a warp guard, but why is he trying to lock down 1 henchman with 2 units?
Gonna see if the all alone check is gonna be strong enough here.
15 damage is just not gonna get it done.
Yeah, he might go up here with the champions and kill off that Verminkin and then retreat back into a safe position again, doing exactly what Aenur should have been doing to win this game.
Carrying blow for sure. Not sure if he has insult, but it'll be pretty nice. In this cliff over there, I guess is not a climb down. It's only a jump up. If you go up that ramp there, it's expecting a climb point.
And Aenur is tearing the chat a new one.
Feeling the pressure.
Oh yeah, remember this? This guy is the staggering blow guy. He can really crush it here on this particular character.
1% without the charge. Not the best damage here either, considering it's a charge. There we go.
Okay. So setting it up for the other guy, and this is not the staggering blow guy, this is the armor break champion.
Yeah, the frozen one's going to be feeling this. You can. The other thing with the way Aenur's situated his units, I say this all the time to beginners and stuff, is you really want to limit your combat circle. And he left this guy's combat circle wide open to being attacked by multiple units.
Just gonna use flee here now, won't he? I think so. Yeah. Why not? Taking 18 damage for that, plus 30 from the exhaustion.
Dismay? He had a mark of dismay. That was very interesting. Dismay rune.
It's kind of odd, but I guess because you saw the hero choices of Aenur here, they're very, very ranged focused. What would Dismay do? Dismay is usually used when you want to have the melee advantage.
Unlike most casters, a wolf priest can beat the shit out of stuff still with his axe.
Yeah,
so.
Purifiers can do that as well really well. Wait, he can actually jump down here, can't he? And I don't think that the warp guard, he's not in ambush, he's not really blocking the point, so he can walk around here. I thought that was what Aenur was gonna do. I thought he was gonna put himself so that the...
This is where he was. Where Aenur kept saying, "I couldn't climb here." Jump down, it appears.
Yeah, there is a guy there. There is a guy there on the jump down point.
Information to Slaviour. Now he knows his wolf priest is safe. For whatever reason, yeah, there's no climb point there, which is really annoying.
Stay there, cast at my henchman, but he doesn't have any casting available to him.
Oh, taunting.
This is something I really like, you know, people have always been bad-mouthing perception and completely ignoring it, and Slaviour is bringing it back. This is a sign of him being a bit more visionary than a lot of the other players. Seeing its use in PvP and starting to use it more actively. It's always been slightly used, but not to this much of an effect. Wow,
wide open. Yeah.
Can't really catch anyone here, can he?
He left this area.
Yeah, because you see Fog Spirit outside there. I don't know what Fog Spirit is guarding, to be honest. The Verminkin, like the broken stairs. Yeah, we're gonna see staggering blow here. I'm pretty sure of that. Making sure that he's gonna die.
Initiative, yeah. On that Verminkin though, he does have really good melee resist. Yeah.
Oh, fails the first staggering blow. I'm gonna try another one. There we go, minus 30 initiative.
Or does he need? No, he needs another one.
He's gonna go down to 31. Yeah, he's gonna need another one.
If he wants the warriors to do it.
Why use? I don't get that. Oh, he's going to go with another staggering blow on the Verminkin. That's what he's gonna do. Yes, he has a good chance here with the Mastered Insult, of course.
And this is just it. I mean, you can do these fleas because you're not afraid of these spears. I don't know what Aenur's doing with these guys.
Even misses the 95.
Yeah. Well, it'd have been 20 damage at best.
This is a good way of cycling back in and back and forth here, so Slaviour is being deadly when he needs to be.
PvP has shown that you really need henchmen that can do damage, that are a threat, and I just don't know.
Yeah, these guys are more there for example, holding impressives in place and stuff like that, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Yeah, he can use insult here if he wants to.
Mastery? Hit on the Verminkin, I can't remember.
Yeah, the master insult is hit on the Verminkin, but not on the Warp Guard. The Warp Guard doesn't have any insult debuffs. And of course remember that it does stack Mastery and the normal one.
So does the armor break.
Yeah, if he wants to utilize it, I think he should use some armor break here. He's gonna do the damage with Adrenaline Rush.
See the difference. I mean, look at... He's doing 40 to 50 with his henchmen. Aenur's doing half that.
Yeah, but you can also see that Slaviour has done... I thought that Slaviour was in a really poor tactical position early on. He was, but he's really bringing it back with way more superior play than Aenur, and you can see why he's ranked #1 in the world here. Really good play from Slaviour so far. Really good play.
You can feel Aenur's morale just kind of dropping with his comments.
Yeah, he's he has a tendency to do that, like some other players I do know.
Yeah.
He's gonna use Adrenaline Rush here as well, I think. Unless the strong blow is enough to finish him off. No, it might not have been.
As well, so... Now when you use Adrenaline Rush, momentum falls off, though.
He's gonna wait. He's gonna wait for the warrior here to maybe kill him off. There we go. Doesn't have to take an all-alone check.
Disengage as well. Kind of lucky. This is what I'm talking about right here. He's gonna feel that. Have a flea? No way. Yeah, okay, it's redded out. Okay. He had one earlier because the other unit was there. To throw another poison wind on all 3 of those units. A poison globe.
Yeah, it definitely should. Could also get the strangling globe in here as well. Refill on that. It's gonna prevent insults from being used. So it's has some effect on melee units as well.
Wants to switch back?
Why would he do that? Yeah, he's gonna switch back.
Take switch weapons. Yeah. Fire with the mists.
The shields are good as well, helping to make sure that he does not take too much damage from range. Although Aenur might be helping with that.
Doing the math, thinking the 30 damage is worth it to prevent even more damage, and it probably was.
Yeah, probably was.
In the back lines.
Well, he needs to be careful. Is there any jump down point? Okay, yeah, he can actually go over here. Okay, that's fine then. Otherwise he would have been blocked off by Fog Spirit, for instance.
Well, it's going to be Aenur's turn. He's going to have to do a lot. You can see him moving around the back. Like, can he lock down the Youngblood? I think, is the Youngblood kind of exposed still?
No, the Youngblood is completely safe. He's up there on the very top part of the building, and if he could not climb up there, then he cannot do so now either. It is possible that the point is obstructed because there is not enough space, or that Youngblood is clipping the terrain somehow.
First of all, his Youngblood's in a different position, but I think he put a champion up there anyway to protect him.
Yeah, he did.
No reason to leave this unit exposed, right?
No, he should probably go in there. Go into the house. They're pretty far away, many of the Aenur's units here. If they want to help out and not make him lose another henchman, then yeah, I think the only thing he can do is go into this house here. I mean, that's...
That got him so afraid.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would want to engage the target so you get the plus 30 range resist. Alone. Might be his best bet. Yeah, that gives you the plus 30 range.
He's gonna
resist.
use the adrenaline rush here, figuring he might die anyway. No.
Has started.
Gonna make
right back.
Aenur work hard for it. I remember. I think the enshrouding miss is. I think enshrouding miss is gonna last here because he lost the sorcerer who cast it, so it's gonna last for one more turn than it should. One of the little quirks about the game. We're really far away here with some of the units. Might be tempted to move any one of these two warp cards here and engage. Let's see what kind of shooting Aenur can do. So far it's 2-0 to Slaviour here. He has killed a hero as well as a henchman. Might be losing Radolf Hoft here though.
This is the dilemma though. He's attacking expendable warriors instead of heroes, you know?
Yeah, in enshrouding mist. Isn't he in the mist? I think he is.
You know? I think enshrouding mist, like we just talked about earlier with the poison globe, I think it's something you want to use once combat's been started. Vittori, kinda I expect to fight here, you know?
Oh, it doesn't get further than that. That is... we're gonna see where he is now.
Oh, there's Puppet Master, yeah. I think he totally left the west flank open. Again, is he just going after warriors? You gotta get him on the leader. In that his champions have really good hit chance.
No, he doesn't have enough movement.
Anyway?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he did. But this this captain is not purely ranged here. Remember that he is a hybrid. He's well adapted to melee combat as well.
Whip out here.
He can actually disengage from this if he wants to.
It's redded out.
But it's going to fight. Kind of a lot of melee resistance here on this unit. This is what he wanted to use the Verminkins for. Gonna wait for some master insults and other stuff coming in. It's gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, he can definitely be shot from here, can't he? Yep, he can. He can do a lot of damage to this. This is gonna be 180, almost 200 damage.
That's the thing with melee resist. All right, you've made a good melee resist tank, but you're going to be probably susceptible to ranged or magic. You can't cover it all.
Yeah. And he is in clot. Yeah, see, this is the climb spot he was complaining about.
Yeah, and I don't like... I think Slaviour put him there knowing that would be a thing, and that's kind of not very sporty.
Yeah, he... I mean, it's a way of using the map in the game as it is.
Like a bug exploit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but it's probably because it's so it's clipping something, so you can't. Because
Implies that.
usually when you climb up against someone, the game is moving them back. But if there is no way of moving them back, then they are not.
I just
moved.
remember a match against Slaviour when I played his Undead last tournament, and I was able to climb, and he was just shocked, and I was like, "Come on, you're trying to use a little exploit on me," you know?
Yeah, but he's learned from that. You saw how he positioned his unit when he faced you in that match. He was putting it in the very center of the climb up, and then he could be moved back just straight out. But now he was putting him to the side, so he is clipping the wall. That's why he can't jump back.
I just don't like to see it as well. You're engaged with someone and the unit accidentally kind of drops out of the circle, and you're just like, "Oh, I'll walk away then," you know. When it's, you know, you should probably just get back in the combat circle.
Yeah, that's an honor system. What do you think he's going to do with these two warp guards here? It's going to be his last way of units that can actually hold something immediately. And we see a hero here committing. And we have a delay on the sorcerer leader here, so we might see some ordering.
I don't know why Aenur felt like he had to initiate all of this, you know? Into Slaviour's web, the little spider web that he did all of this for Slaviour, and he didn't have to.
Indeed.
Not a combat occurring north of this.
He went into the globe here twice, the poison globe. Fails the parry, that's unlucky. 66% chance.
Wants to get that wolf priest instead of going after the already wounded warriors.
At least that's something.
Very interesting. Want to get into that wolf priest though. I'm pretty sure Aenur or Slaviour builds them with strong blow when they hit. He's not a warlock, you know?
No.
Are these warp guards actually going to do damage? Or are they going to be popping out 18 HP attacks again?
I think they are. They're using spears. I think it's built in for melee resistance, which means agility and toughness.
What would you pick? This is the one thing again Skaven are bad at is armor bypass. What would you take as a Skaven player? Would you take a mace? Would you take a spear, a dagger?
I would probably pick a mace. I mean, armor absorption that helps you to do more damage, right? As hitting also though. It's just in
some of the lowest
base. Way.
It has some of the lowest base damage too, as well, right?
No,
the dagger lowest.
It's not. Mace is not too much far off from an axe.
Here, I'm saying. I'm sorry if I said mace.
Yeah, the mace is. I think it's just 1 damage less on average, but not counting the armor absorption.
Spears do very poor damage as well.
So exhaustion here for a single parry stance, I'm assuming. See if you can go through this.
And still, so there goes one guy that can insult.
This is just worth just trying to hit that. 46% chance to kill him off. Only needs to hit twice. Missed twice already. 3 times misses. 50. It's just coin flips that he's missing.
You'll see him go down to a warrior or something. Yeah, a warrior.
Yeah, probably.
Is it worth doing it? Someone with 7 HP standing in poison clouds, you know, but at the same time he wants to probably release his Lad's Got Talent unit so he can pull back, right?
Yeah, he's gonna do that.
Very red pill inefficient.
And it seems that the wolf beast has been let loose too. I mean, the climb down point is available now.
Oh man.
Just like that, we have evened out the score. It's 2-2 at this point. One hero and one henchman dead for Aenur, and 2 henchmen has been taken off Slaviour's roster.
He does have a very wounded warrior behind it as well.
Yeah, that's true. But Aenur also has a henchman here that's about to die, Fog Spirit, and it's gonna move into the Wolf Priest here, I believe.
The warrior, it'll be interesting.
No, the warrior, alright.
Yeah, I thought he might take the warrior down. Now though, that's three blue pills he just spent. So he's stuck exposed, his turn's over.
Yeah, and the champions are coming up, at least one of them. Can he
Staggering blow, and I think you'll see the young blood shoot the crap out of that.
Actually, it can tie him down, but then it's gonna be the Wolf Priest that's gonna be the only one that's not tied down here. No, is he gonna go for the captain? That would be a huge mistake if he doesn't lock down the champion here on the bottom floor.
For him.
What is he doing? There
Probably
we go.
looking for him.
There you go. There we go.
Champion's locked down, yeah.
But he is in a precarious situation because he's gonna be hit by staggering blow here and gonna get 2 rounds in a row to kill him off. It's not gonna last for too long.
But this guy is free now as well, though. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. He has walked into the ambush. 119 damage. What is he gonna do now?
These are not warlocks. These are wolf priests. He's just going to shoot the crap out of the Lad's Got Talent warp guard.
Yeah, I think so too. Only 1 second left remaining. He's gonna be exposed to the Youngblood. Yeah, he's gonna be super exposed to the Youngblood here. And the Wolf Priest can jump down and go and kill off the Sorcerer Leader. So this is gonna be a big turn for Slaviour coming up. That was his only one parry. Yeah, out of time. I mean, you had 90 seconds on you, Aenur. 90 seconds. Oh my god. Yeah, he's a little bit salty right now, isn't he? But what do you think? The Wolf Priest, he's gonna be... Yeah, he could possibly... We will see. We'll see what he can do.
He does have sidesteps, so he'll have to give up the first 2 attacks to break the dodge. So we'll see if the Wolf Priest can get off him.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of it too, and
Today, though, I think the Youngblood's just gonna be able to go to town on those exposed units, either the Sorcerer or the Lad's Got Talent.
he might want to finish off Fog Spirit just to make sure that the captain's gonna be free.
Aenur looks back. He'll just be like, why did I move into Slaviour?
Yeah, in this fashion.
No reason to...
Can he disengage from this? I think he can. If he wants to. And get Misty Strider.
Looks like he's going to.
Yeah.
What'd you wrap? Yeah, it's a Daredevil.
250 wounds on... has he used exhaustion? I think he has, right? The Sorcerer Leader. He could be dead in that case. Gonna take up 1 dodge stance? 1 dodge attempt, I mean.
So okay, if you're Slaviour, do you shoot the leader or do you shoot the warp guard?
I think I'm shooting at the leader. Isn't that a better choice?
The hammer or the nail? I guess the hammer, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the damage is incoming from the sorcerer leader, so removing that is gonna be great. Also, you have to consider the morale here. There we go. Some of the
Towards the
remaining
leader.
warriors here going to go towards the leader. Indeed.
They can probably get there.
Wow, this is gonna hurt. You can actually
Yeah,
move in and do adrenaline rush. You should do that. Yeah.
with charge, and I think you're going to see the great axe.
We might, if you're gonna do a switch here. No. Adrenaline rush and bring him down. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah. And this lets the young blood be able to shoot the warp guard as well. It's looking like the beginning of the end here.
Yeah, he needs to take him down because the initiative is gonna be to the advantage of Aenur. Remember, he's used a lot of delaying with that sorcerer leader, so he's not as far down as people might think he is. No, that's not a good choice. That's not a good choice.
That goes to the basement.
Yeah.
Be cute about it.
Yeah, if he doesn't miss one of these 95s here, he's gonna kill off the sorcerer leader.
I think Aenur got too excited, man. He just had to do more of a skirmish.
On the other hand, I think it's nice that Aenur was actually trying to make this more of a game. I would have been disappointed casting this game if he was just going to pull back to the top left corner of the map and just sit there and camp after doing the initial damage.
Yeah, we have a player that will be doing that anyway.
Yeah, so we have seen that previously in the tournament, so I'm happy we're not seeing one of those kind of games.
Do you want to leave him exposed so he doesn't get the 30 range resist?
A miss.
This man, in case anyone's curious. Push the engagement, but also just the target selection. He really focused on warriors.
Yeah, I don't really know what he was. I mean, he was obviously trying to use. To be honest, if he had used just a single one of the Vermikins to lock in again, as it started out to do, and then use another warp guard to block down the jump down point, then he would have trapped the Wolf Priest to not be unable to do something. So he would use two henchmen to tie off a Wolf Priest and another henchman of Slaviour. And I think that would have been a good choice. But now, I don't know. Because he went in there with two was it double warp guards? Yeah, it was. And no, the Vermikin and the warp guard, and it was two henchmen against one, and I don't think that was a good way of doing it for Aenur. It's too many resources put into the wrong spot. Oh, he can he's actually disengaging from this.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I'd like to see him just get back in there. Anyway,
he has an interest in doing so. He cannot climb up there himself anyway. Remember, he has a parry. Yeah, forgot about the parry there.
Much like we talk about in the BBL, champions are kind of the workhorses for witch hunters for you.
And the Templars.
Yeah, so they're just these 400 HP heavy armor beasts, and there's just nothing out at this point. You know, these are the units he wanted to use Sorcerer's Curse on. These are the units he wanted his Daredevils on.
Slaviour's done an excellent job, like protecting them and having them not be exposed unlike the other units here.
Well, yeah, so that gets back to why I think picking merchants against these Skaven bands is the way to go, because you can use the cover and slowly move up.
Indeed.
So.
But they're running out of picking merchants as well against all these Skaven players. You don't have too much.
No, he's disappointed. But we have to remind Aenur, he's going to watch this. This is your first level 10 tournament, and this is
A new
Slaviour.
round has started.
Yeah.
You know? At 6th place.
Losing
he
to him
got
twice, it's not a big thing. He's making a fight out of it.
6th seed. He easily could have been the 4th seed, given everyone was tied. I don't think he needs to feel bad about this. I mean, I got my ass kicked by a new guy to PvP. So I think he's acquitted himself nicely. He's not out of the tournament, and he's going to have a good chance in the lower. It's going to be Greybush or Crowley, as he said. So needs to be
might be hoping to face Crowley again. I think they are 1-1 so far. They faced each other twice. Aenur's won once, Crowley's won once. And having a grudge match like that for the 3rd time in a row will be interesting for those two players, I think. But Greybush has found his form, so we don't know. He could push through Crowley.
Yeah, he was on death's door. Greybush won the 2 in a row to get to the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is going to be a good fight, just as a side note. I think their warbands match up nicely.
That's going to be a very interesting fight. It's still a long way to go, no? I mean, we still have 63 morale that needs to be dropped for Aenur, and Slaviour has a lower morale to start with, so it's not over just yet.
It's interesting, you know, we mentioned way back to turn 1, he gets his young blood to this sniping position, and it's so funny that Aenur let him utilize it, you know? To give that young blood that perch, I mean, Aenur did it to himself. He could have let that young blood come down and just not given them targets, so...
It's gonna be interesting to see here what is reapplying this Dragon Globe as it was running out. We're gonna see the 71 initiative. Last Got Talent Warp Guard here was not seen so far yet. I mean, we see him here on the initiative ladder, but we have not seen him in the game.
His acquaintance. It's gonna be big. He needs to get these, so initiative ladder, I think. Of course. They both had 81.
He could move forward here and attack the Globadier there.
If they both had 81 initiative and the captain got to go first.
That was unlucky for Aenur. No doubt he would have loved to have the sidestep available.
Shot kind of fits the melee resist theme.
Indeed, with Winter's Shield, if he had that available, you can see how disgusting it can be. Minus 20% hit chance.
Something I want to see with Witch Hunters, with Armor of Righteousness and Dismay runes. That'd be a fun warband.
Yeah, it would be. We rarely do see Witch Hunters, so it's fun to see that we still have one of them remaining in the tournament.
Safety.
Very much into safety.
In a sense, though, he's bringing him closer to that Daredevil Warp Guard, perhaps.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, he is up there in the far northern corner, right?
Or near the cart, or north spawn. I think you're going to see a lot of shots into the...
Wow, we can actually shoot down here and kill off White Walker. Gonna use the Mastered Bullseye, no? Or we can get Suicide Devil, that's also an option.
That's Devil, for sure. Especially since his turn's coming up, I would think.
I don't know, why waste a hand shot on him if he's not gonna... if he's gonna focus fire him down now? He's gonna take 30 damage, plus maybe some poison, so it is possible to kill him.
Yeah, I think it's worth it, especially since his turn's next. Adrenaline Rush? I'm not sure.
Not using aim here for another plus 1% hit chance. See if that's gonna bite him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's happened before.
It has happened before.
Adrenaline Rush? Not sure he does.
I just want to.
It's ironic. Their first match, I do remember the Youngblood got MVP. You might be seeing that again here.
Manages to resist both of those poison checks here. 80% chance of it.
Passive of warp guards as well. I think they
Yeah.
get 30%.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty high.
I believe. He could get into that Wolf Priest, who's not going to have nearly as good defense against attacks.
He seems to be committed here to doing the damage. Wow, he took Black Hunger, so he barely has any wounds left remaining now, and he still has the poison checks coming in. I know he has an 80% chance of making it, but...
I think I'd like to see a flee, though, and have him go after the Wolf Priest.
He can't flee now. He only has a few wounds left remaining. If he runs into the Poison Cloud, which he would, he will take even more damage. Could kill himself by doing that. Check him out. 19 wounds remaining. On turn of start, 15 to 20. Here we have another.
Oh, that's a henchman. Please stop attacking henchmen. Another kill, but good for him. Every kill helps. So he was planning on bringing him up here anyway.
Getting in towards the Wolf Priest here. And Black Hunger.
Oh. And hunting this poor damn Wolf Priest the entire battle. All alone for White Walker.
I see he disengages with the champion because of the... He's clipping something here with the terrain and the being in the door frame.
I think he wants the...
Yeah, he wants the Wolf Priest anyway, of course, but...
Yeah.
Or not. Hopefully getting a little damage done on the champion then. Even more damage coming in here. Remember, this guy was hit with a staggering blow.
Reapply it or just not be afraid of this unit?
Yeah, he needs to be reapplied, otherwise he's gonna stay here for 2 rounds of attack by the Iron God.
Afraid, you know?
No, it's not. It's not caring about it. It's gonna use Adrenaline Rush to get another attack off.
Yeah. When you're popping off 20 damage a shot, I just don't think there's much to be afraid of. You know, you got to make henchmen dangerous.
Yeah. And it's also very nice here for Marondis Rainholm in that he's triggering his own passive, so it's going to be very difficult to hit for the Iron God. And what is he going to do with both of the turns? Is he actually going to attack here? And I'm not sure if Aenur's actually noticed that he's going to get 2 rounds off in a row now against him.
Succeeds 86. They have a passive that makes them better at all alones, don't they?
Yeah, plus 35% against Fear, Terror, and All Alone.
And look at this damage.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, I know Slaviour's Wolf Priest. I told you he likes the double strong blow with them, and yeah. Walk into them at your own peril, everybody. This is not a warlock.
Yeah, it's not a warlock, but it can do damage.
It's got talent go down.
Yeah, he should go down here. Actually, could we even kill both of them if he walks in with the other one? That brings the score up to 6-3 currently. We only need to lose 22 morale more here for Aenur to take a route test. It's going to be exactly what a hero amounts to. As you see here, Suicide Devil losing 22 morale as well.
For the Poison Wind Globadier.
Could at least set up some kind of ambush here, yeah, indeed. Gonna trap it inside this building. So he needs to attack now. This is a really poor choice, because now he's gonna realize that on the next turn the Iron God is gonna start up and he didn't even use his 5 red pills there.
I'm thinking he was looking at like a 20% chance anyway, though.
Yeah, but you have a chance. Like, you're not losing anything by using those red pills.
I know.
It's soon gonna be your turn again. I mean, he's on autopilot right now. He's just using, since he's facing a hero, he's just using a stance. Gonna get a kill here. And that is going to be a route check.
So again, I think he's acquitted himself nicely. We have to remember this is Slaviour, everybody. And I know he's upset with himself, but there's a, like you said, there's a reason he's number one.
Indeed, there is. Wow, he's gonna be trapped against the door frame here if he manages to make the route test. But realistically, will he stay in this fight? He is at 98, so it's not a complete sure thing that he's gonna take the route test. Yeah, okay, he's doing that.
Drew, yeah.
7-3. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Killerpaw, for being part here today.
Looking at this, it's actually Helmut, the Wolf Priest. He was so in a rush to go against, got the MVP. It's funny to see.
Very funny to see.
It's going to be what? It's going to be he's going to face Greybush
or Crowley in the losers bracket here. And if he loses there, he's going to go out. The Slaviour's going to take on Clyde for a third time. Third time's the charm. He lost twice already. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, they are, aren't they? That is too good.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Killerpaw, for being part of this. And see you in the next game. Hopefully with Killerpaw again.
Yeah, bye-bye, guys.
Farewell for now. Farewell.